Alright, welcome back. Remember I spoke about my axles? Well, my axle on my pontoon trailer need to be changed. This is the hangers I cut off the trailer, the condition they were in. And keep in mind, I pulled this trailer to Mississippi 2 or 3 times from Louisiana. I've been 200-300 mile trips I put on this trailer multiple times. The axle itself is still good. Leaves are probably still good. This was my main problem. So all that was holding this together. Like this was welded to the bottom of the trailer. So all this was gone. Got a mess everywhere as usual. It's my brand new welding machine I'm not happy with. That's another video. When it's working, it works awesome, but something's wrong with the whip. The whole whip gets hot while you're welding, and this is a 5600 watt generator. It trips it while welding because I guess a wire is grounded out inside the whip somewhere, making heat. Anyway, it's another diagnosis. It's only a $250 welding machine. Well, it did on here. Upgrade that 6,000 pound axle. Now, my frame for my trailer, 6 foot center of the frame. Alright, 6 foot center. That's 72 inches everywhere in the world. 6 foot is 72 inches. The manufacturer or vendor I ordered the axle from says it's a 70-inch spring center, and in parentheses it says 6 foot. So I called them up and I explained to them what I had. 6 foot center on my frame. They said yes, this axle will fit. Well, it turns out it didn't fit. It was 2 inches too narrow. So I had to come up with a solution. I added some box tubing on the frame, added onto my frame to split the difference. Because my hangers, I had to split the difference on my frame, both sides. And my little welding machine gave me so much trouble. These are the ugliest welds I've ever made in my life. But I had to do it to the rear and the front. Show you the front. And I had to notch it out to go underneath this I-beam cross brace. But same thing, split the difference halfway. The axle, I got it from Trailer Parts Unlimited. Happy with them and not happy with them. This axle was built July of 24. It's a brand new axle. Ordered 3 tires, brand new 10-ply tires. So 6,000 pound axle. My trailer weighs about 800 pounds. So that still leaves me over 5,000 pound capacity for a 4,000 pound houseboat. This may seem very minor to some people, but it's just it aggravates me. These rubber caps, I don't know if you can see it, they're already cracked up in dry rot. Brand new, so they probably sat in the sun somewhere on a pallet. That's not really a big deal. These caps are cheap, easy to replace. I think 15 bucks to get 2 of them. Valve stem was missing. Still, that's not really a problem. All the U-boats and the bottom plate for the leaf spring, none of that was painted. It was all just raw iron. The links were raw iron. These were raw iron, which is understandable because you gotta weld that on anyway. So I had to do a bunch of prepping and painting, which really wasn't a big deal. Just wasn't expecting it. But it is sold as a complete bolt-on ready to weld kit. I ordered the axle, 3 tires. It was an axle kit that came with all the hardware, the leaf hangers that you weld on. It came with everything I needed. What I don't like about it, I have to look at my calendar for the exact date. I made an order on a Wednesday. By Friday was our last day of business. They were closed from November 3rd to November 11th. Yeah, from the 3rd to 11th. I want to say I ordered October 30th. I placed my order. November 1st, I hadn't heard nothing. No email about shipping. November 2nd, didn't hear nothing. So I called them It was a Thursday. I called them on a Thursday because Friday was their last day of business, and then they would be closed. And I needed my Axel so I could pick up my houseboat, because at that time we had a little hurricane that was supposed to come our way. So I really want to change my Axle to pick up my trailer, and they offer 1-day shipping for a price of $250. So I went ahead and paid it. Well, 2 days passed, I made my order. I didn't hear nothing. I called them up and said, yeah, I'd like to get a status update. My order, gave my order number, and they said, oh yeah, it's still sitting in our warehouse on a pallet. We're gonna try our best to get it out by Friday, because if it doesn't go out Friday, it's not gonna go out until the 11th, which is, it was like a week and a half away before they could ship it. So I said, all right, look, I'm in a bind. I need this Axle. That's the reason I ordered it. But from Trailer Parts Unlimited, they were $500 cheaper than anywhere else. So that was my main reason for picking them. And their website, they praise customer service and quality. Anyway, Friday came. I didn't get no email confirmation, because the lady did tell me if it ships out, you're gonna get an email confirmation, and our shipping manager is gonna call you, because this has to ship out LTL freight, which means you have to ship it to a commercial business that has a forklift. That's the only place it can go. Not a problem. Do you have any idea which LTL freight company you're going to use? Because there's a local Saya freight warehouse 15 minutes from me. And I said, I would like to use them if possible. Their name is Saya. I said, do y'all use Saya? Oh, yes, sir, we use Saya. Like, cool. Well, it didn't ship out. I had to wait till November 11th. They sent me an email. Letting me know they couldn't ship it to my residence, which I already knew that. They wanted me to give them a call, because I use my business is Southern Dock Works. It's a Louisiana licensed business, but it's not commercial. And I don't have a forklift, but I had a tractor available with forks for if this would show up. Anyway, they couldn't ship it to my house. I called them, and they said, okay, we're going to ship it to New Orleans. We're going to use Southeastern, ship it to New Orleans. And I told them when I first talked to them, I should have mentioned this part of the story first. I said, look, before I place this order, I need to know where you're going to ship it to, because if y'all going to ship it to New Orleans, I don't want it. New Orleans is, I'm 40 miles directly south in a straight line from New Orleans. I guess by vehicle, I'm about 60 miles from New Orleans. Now, I hate dealing with New Orleans. Anything with New Orleans, I avoid New Orleans. She told me they were shipping to New Orleans. And I said, ma'am, that's not going to work for me. It's an hour and 45-minute drive to the address to the freight company that they want, the freight dock they want to send it to. I said, ma'am, I'm not going there. And that's when I asked her, can we ship it to Saya in Houma? Now, I already paid the $250 shipping. And she said, well, the reason we go to New Orleans is because we use the cheapest freight available. I said, okay, well, can you give me a quote for Saya in Houma, Louisiana? It's only 15-20 minutes from my house. And she said, yeah, give me a minute. She came back and said, $490 to ship it to Houma. So I'd already paid $1,000 total for this axle, springs, and 3 tires and shipping. I said, ma'am, I'm not interested in giving you over $300 more for shipping. Is there any other place you can ship it closer to me? And they picked a little town called Destrehan. If you're familiar with Louisiana, St. Rose, Destrehan. There's a lot of shipping facilities there. Well, Southeastern had a facility. It was $300 to ship it there, and Trailer Parts Unlimited ate the difference, the $50 cost to ship it to Destrehan for me, because they were upset about the inconvenience of me waiting for this axle, which I was upset as well. So they shipped it there. I went and picked it up and started putting it together, and that's when I noticed the measurements wasn't lining up, and instead of shipping this back and trying to find the correct axle, because I've been having trouble finding a 72-inch center where the spring perches are, the center of the leaves. That's how you measure axles, from the center of the springs and your hub face to hub face. This is an 85-inch hub face and a 72-inch spring center, which is 6 feet. Apparently this is this trailer comes from Bass Pro, and almost every trailer that comes from Bass Pro, they use custom built axles. That way, if you need to replace the axle, you pretty much have to contact them for the information, and they're gonna have an axle built for you. This is a Sun Tracker. This is either bought at Cabela's or Bass Pro. So apparently a 72-inch spring center is not very common. Like online, I didn't find many places that sold a set exactly 72-inch spring center. So I figured, let me just modify my trailer. It's gonna take a standard 70-inch, which is referred to as 6-foot axle. So that's where I'm at. Axle's done. It's a 6,000 pound capacity. I guess I'm gonna clean up my mess today. I'm running out of daylight. I could go pick up my houseboat tonight, but I'm gonna wait another day. I need to change my safety chains, and then I'm gonna tonight and tomorrow focus on cleaning up my mess and cleaning up my yard. And sometime tomorrow I'm gonna pick up the houseboat and bring it back on land so I can plan to do the pressure washing. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Sorry for the little story. It may not seem relevant to you guys, but it's a big step for me to get that correct axle on the trailer for the weight that I'm holding. It would have been better to go with a double axle, but I'm building another double axle in my backyard. It would have cost me a lot more money to buy the two 3,500 pound axles, or 2,000 to 3,000 pounds, versus one single 6. And this, I didn't have to modify anything on the trailer except for where the spring purchase sit, to where to make this double, I'm going to start cutting off bunk guides and moving bunk guides like further apart to have the double axle sit in there. And I did have to upgrade tire size. This is a 225 R15, where the original tires, I want to say, is a 215 R14. And I did not put the fenders back on. As you can see, my tires were hitting the fenders, the original tires, so I knew I'd have a clearance problem with the bigger tires. Going from a, let's see, it is yes, it's a 215-14. Another issue I had, these bolts, there was no heads that were usable to get that off, so I had to cut the bolts off with a grinder on both sets of fenders. So I'm gonna have to make a backing plate to go over this to better put the fenders back on. I think the fender's gonna need a lift, but honestly I'm probably just gonna leave the fenders off. Or maybe I'll take some piece of cut barrel, because the original fenders came up just below here. I may just take a piece of cut barrel, just a makeshift fender. I don't need a fender to stand on. Those were to stand on, but with the houseboat, what I'm gonna stand on to get to? There's nothing right here to get to stand on, so it's not really needed. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video, and maybe one day I'll do a video about my welding machine. It's a constant fight, man. You lay down under the trailer, because I couldn't run it on a extension cord this long because my outlet's 40 feet that way. So I figured, well, let me go get my little generator. It's a 5600. It's not gonna have any problems running a welding machine, right? It runs my big air compressor, no problem. And it runs the welding machine, but something's going on, like the wire would jam inside the whip, and I'd pull it out, and then while I'm welding, it's very inconsistent welds. So we start welding beautiful, then messing up, welding beautiful, messing up, and when we start welding good, the breaker would trip. I thought it was my outlet, switch outlets, same thing. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. Thank y'all for viewing.